Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. You read the title. Today we'll be looking at the worst K-pop songs of 2023. I'm going to ruffle some feathers with this one, and that's putting it lightly. What better way to start the new year than by spreading negativity, am I right? Rest assured, I'll be showing no mercy. We've got 20 songs, none of your faves are safe. Let's not waste any more time and dive right in. I thought for sure Bouncy would end up on this list, but lo and behold, at the end of the year they decided to one-up themselves, or in this case, one down themselves. See, Bouncy I can kind of enjoy as a guilty pleasure of sorts, the kind of song where you can just turn off your brain and bask in the camp of it all. This one I can't even pretend to like. It's all of their worst tendencies put on full display. The auto-tune vocals all start to meld together into mumbo jumbo, which is layered over this skeletal, threadbare production. The incessant in-your-face sneering just reminds me of that Grinch meme. Like, that's basically every ATEEZ title track nowadays. It's common knowledge that the quality of their releases has slid substantially in recent years, but even so, this is abysmal. I was going to make a separate video trashing on this song, but I just couldn't be bothered because any criticism I can provide would be as trite and uninteresting as the music itself. See, at face value there's nothing really egregious, but when you view it through the context of YG having literally not made anything that sounds remotely different to this for the last 5 years, then I've got a bone to pick with you. Seriously, there was not an ounce of originality involved in the making of this song. Every last note is so devoid of substance that it might as well have been generated by an AI. I can't point to a single element that hasn't already been done to death. As usual, YG is allergic to writing choruses. We're given an extremely tired, predictable, boring, pitiful excuse of a beat drop. It would honestly be better if they gave us nothing at all. Like, just have 15 seconds of silence instead, and that would be preferable. Admittedly, the last 30 seconds were quite enjoyable, but that's about it. To give credit where credit is due, and this really is a strong point that can be made about YG songs in general, is that as creatively bankrupt as they may be, they are never forgettable. However, memorability does little to rouse interest in what is otherwise derivative, reheated leftovers, and I also have no desire to replay this song. I genuinely feel bad for these girls, because if this is the material that they're going to be saddled with for the foreseeable future, with a seemingly non-existent artistic vision, merely riding on the coattails of BLACKPINK and 2NE1 before them, I find it difficult to be at all excited for any of this group's subsequent releases. To call this low-hanging fruit would be an understatement. Did I include it just as an excuse to bag on BLACKPINK? Maybe. But this single is horrid. It brings absolutely nothing to the table. In fact, one might say that there is not an ounce of originality involved in the making of this song. Every last note is so devoid of substance that it might as well have been generated by an AI. I cannot believe Lindgren produced this, the same guy who composed I Can't Stop Me, Run Away by TXT, and Boy With Love, among others. They probably held a gun to his head in the studio. Also, I just can't deal with these awkward ass chibi avatars, bro. Okay, then we have BLACKSWAN's Karma. Basically the typical BLACKPINK slop, but with an Indian twist. I actually do like the production on this, but that chorus is f***ing awful. It is an abomination. In the grand scheme of things, 2 years is not a long time, but in the K-pop industry, such a stretch without new material feels like an eternity, especially when you don't have an extensive back catalogue for fans to revisit. Despite being on hiatus for more than 600 days, Everglow was not afforded anything better than All My Girls Slay. It's mostly sophomoric writing channeled through a series of rapid-fire, boilerplate girl crush platitudes. We born to break the rules, we got that attitude. Besides a vocal bridge, Slay offers nothing we haven't heard a million times before. It's dated and stale. Let's just pray that the days of La-Di-Da and Pirate are not completely behind us. Hey, it's not that bad, but if your song contains the lyrics, I'm twerking on the runway, or look so cool, look so sex, like Kim Kardashian, satirical or not, it belongs on this list. Me, I want Maeve. Mom, we have Maeve at home. Maeve at home.
째깍째깍 소리에 불 켜진 작은 성 12시가 되면 셧다운 문을 닫는다.
Okay, so this is a weird one. We've seen these virtual groups pop up left and right. Now, it's one thing to have fully animated avatars as idols, but what happens when you subject real performers to an inordinate amount of facial filtering such that it begins to approach uncanny valley territory? Well, you get I, which is taken from the three-letter I's in the word inspiration. What exactly do you suppose they're trying to inspire? Nightmares? This group released a pre-debut single back in November, Forbidden Midnight, which contains a bizarre interpolation of In the Hall of the Mountain King by Edvard Grieg. In all honesty, the beat drop kinda slaps, but the classical melody really only works in the original context, and I just can't get over the sheer absurdity of this nursery rhyme-esque hook. The production feels flat and lifeless, even without taking into account the ludicrous level of post-processing. We can only imagine what they have in store for their official debut in 2024. Much like Sneakers, I heard the chorus, or rather the titular hook, and I immediately decided that this song was totally inane and unserious. By now, I've grown increasingly wary of these bratty and juvenile refrains. A lot of ITZY's vocal delivery seems almost fine-tuned to be as irritating as possible, especially from Yuna and to a lesser degree Ryujin. I like both of them a lot, but I just can't stand all the squawking they get up to. Speaking of insufferable refrains, oh dear, this was a torturous experience. Tell you what, I want to stick a metal rod into my ear and just pry the sound of that chorus out of my brain. I don't know what region of hell they had to dig through to find a loop like that. Just completely and utterly atrocious on every level, and I wish I never heard it. Again, not terrible by any means, but extremely lackluster and underwhelming in all aspects. It's unbelievably slight, threatening to fade into the background entirely. It's honestly baffling that they would opt for something as scant and shoddy as this for one of the industry's biggest artists.
Tell me who's next. Tell me who's next.
So Lapillus is 0 for 3 at the moment. Their agency seems hell-bent on continuing the mundane stream of pseudo-badass schlock, to borrow a phrase from my Born Pink review. Props to MLD for sticking to the sound, I guess. Who's Next is a perfect storm of scattershot sing-talk, forgettable melodies, haphazard production, and a chorus that literally builds to nothing. Who's Next? Hopefully better songwriters.
In my baggy jeans, in my baggy jeans.
I'll admit, before making this video, I hadn't even listened to Baggy Jeans, but sometimes the chorus, or lack thereof, tells you everything you need to know. I am sick of songwriters just repeating a word multiple times and treating that as the centerpiece. I get it's supposed to be ridiculous and off-kilter, like, oh haha, they're just saying baggy jeans over and over like they just woke up. Isn't that so quirky? No. It's lazy and stupid. There are some pleasant melodies that can be scavenged in certain areas, particularly the second pre-chorus, but overall this was a massive squandering of potential. Bringing back the 7th Sense lineup for this nonsense? Yeah, what a waste.
Young, dumb, stupid, but who cares?
Of course. Who thought this was a good idea? Young, dumb, stupid, but who cares, ding dang dong, ding dang dong. Yes, I'm sure the toddlers will enjoy this very much. Thankfully, they've since put out better material. It's not looking so good for JYP. 2023 was a properly mid-year for the label when literally its best release was from the CEO himself. Now, other people might have S-Class in this spot instead, but truth be told, I can kind of appreciate that oddball mishmash of a song. There is some charm to be found in its unrelenting eccentricity. But much like their fellow industry-leading posturers, ATEEZ, Stray Kids decided to double down on the braggadocio, and this time they didn't even bother giving the song an interesting name. Now, I do like the funk accents. I wish they would have expanded on that idea rather than allowing it to be overpowered by the far more generic, blustery elements, because as the song stands, it's the same shtick they've been peddling for 2+ years at this point, and you may refer back to the Grinch meme from earlier. The chorus is a non-starter. It tries to be invigorating but collapses under the weight of its own bravado. Stray Kids never fail to raise the roof, but it's also hard to feel like they're not just spinning their wheels at this point.
We got the bombs. Wow, 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 wow.
Look, I only included one song per artist, but unfortunately Taeyong makes an appearance once again. To be completely honest, this song has grown on me. I can certainly vibe along to the outlandish production, which I think is this track's strongest asset, but Taeyong's often cringeworthy and grating delivery paired with the silly hook is not a winning combination. Shalala, while not lacking in personality, is ultimately too zany for its own good. Tempest. The quality of their title tracks is as turbulent and unpredictable as their name would suggest. You just never know what you're gonna get. One moment they'll put out a genuine contender for Song of the Year, and the next, flaming garbage. The chorus is frankly embarrassing. Chicka chicka vroom vroom. That's the best thing they could come up with. Chicka chicka vroom vroom. I mean, have some self-respect. Chicka chicka vroom vroom. I can't believe they went from dangerous to this. Truly a nosedive of epic proportions. Get your shit together, Yeohua. Gist. However, if this cycle continues, their next title track might be absolutely amazing. Let's hope I'm not wrong. Okay, let's talk about ITZY. This is not a good song. It's a half-assed amalgamation of overdone girl crush tropes presented in the most labored and languid manner. Production amounts to a child mindlessly banging on pots and pans. The singing is comedically unenthused. Even the more uproarious chanting bits are delivered with this oddly dejected energy. Their latest comeback, Synchronize, is more of the same. I mean, it was basically a toss-up to see which one of them would end up on the list. If they really want to make a name for themselves, they're gonna need to deliver something more than just a lame, underdeveloped BLACKPINK B-side. Okay, you're probably looking at me funny. Everybody and their mother and father and extended family seems to love this song. I've seen multiple people have this in their top 10 songs of the year, but personally, I just don't buy it. I find the intro and verse 1 completely insufferable. That tinny synth is like nails on a chalkboard to me. It just activates a fight or flight response, and on top of that, the girls' voices are mangled by autotune.
Everything I do A1, flawless.
Now, to be fair, as we reach the pre-chorus, things do take a turn for the better, and I will concede the chorus is really, really good. It even brings back the plonky synth, and it doesn't sound like thankfully, because it's been buried under much more pleasant vocal and instrumental textures. Perhaps I'm being a bit harsh by putting it on the worst list, but I still don't like it. xikers stuff has been sort of hit or miss. Their debut Tricky House struck me as nothing more than an ATEEZ cosplay, though Rockstar and Do or Die offered some welcome variety. Still, it's difficult to look past the nuclear disaster that is Koong. It's honestly impressive to see a song that does literally everything wrong. There's little sophistication to be found in the abrasive, ear-splitting production and painfully exaggerated shouting that characterizes the headache-inducing chorus. It's just so unruly and uncivilized. If I had to find something good to say about the song, I guess I can respect the unflagging energy, but so much of it is just directed towards hysterical yelling. Even if the guys aren't exhausted after this 3.5-minute cacophony, as the listener, I sure am.
Macaroni cheese, I got macaroni cheese. Macaroni cheese, I got macaroni cheese.
I'm lost for words. I'm genuinely speechless. I sorted this list in alphabetical order of the artist, but ironically, Macaroni Cheese might be the worst K-pop song of 2023. Young Posse is the latest girl group from DSP Media, the same company that was once home to greats like Finkel, Kara, and April, mind you. Everything pertaining to this debut is inscrutable. I don't even know what this is, if not a failed attempt at satire, like a massive unfunny joke. I mean, sure, there's some humor to be found in the complete and utter insanity of this concept, but the song itself is terrible. The rap is clumsy, the delivery is annoying, the beat is dull and insipid, the lyrics are just appalling. Besides the main hook, we have I just want it hot, but don't make my body. On the cream, pop it like a cheese. Shorty like it greasy, shorty like it cheesy. I can't imagine anyone bumping this tune under any circumstance, unless they've gotten a lobotomy or something. My only question is, where do they go from here? Like their next comeback is just going to be called McDonald's Sprite, and the chorus will be McDonald's Sprite. Sprite, Sprite, Sprite. Anyways, that will do it for my list of the worst K-pop songs of 2023. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel for more great content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.